Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we losing is what got us here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Knicks family, what is popping? Tony, what's good with you, bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, feeling better. You know, it is what it is with the injuries, but we've been dealing with it all year, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, no doubt about that. We've been dealing with it all season long, and we'll have to figure it out. Figure it out once again. You know what I mean? But we didn't get a chance to do the Losers Lounge last night, so we're gonna jump on and we're gonna knock this out tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as the Knicks go up 2-0 over the Indiana Pacers. Before we even get into it, Tony, any other thoughts from last night?
well, one thing I don't think we spoke about, maybe we did, but the the coach, their coach,
Mm-hmm.
his post game interview, he talked about 30 something calls from the first game, 40 something calls from game 2 that he sent in clips to the NBA showing bias calls or missed calls or wrong calls. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. 78, I think it was in total. That's a lot of plays to send in. My question though, if you would you send in your own compilation if you're on the Knicks, or would you just let that do whatever it does and move forward?
I think I'm gonna just let it do whatever it does. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks have been a team with no excuses all season long. And I think I just continue to roll with that. Like right now, as we speak, this is how the Knicks are just no excuses. It don't matter who's hurt. Let's get out there and ball. You know what I mean? I know, we know the Knicks did their own little thing throughout the season, but I think I would just, if I'm the Knicks, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to send anything in. You know what I mean? we're just going to rock. We're just going to play. We might talk about it in the press conference or something like that, but for the most part, we're gonna fight through everything. We're gonna battle through everything. You know what I mean? But what I'm looking at is that Indiana is taking a page out of Philadelphia's book, right? What happened in Game 3 when the Knicks went to Philadelphia?
Mm-hmm.
Joel Embiid made more free throws than the Knicks shot in that game. You know what I'm saying? So I think, he's taking a page out of that book. It's like, let me complain a little bit and see if it works for us. That's what I'm thinking.
Who's their biggest? I mean, without looking it up, like just from your eye test, who's their biggest free throw threat? Who's their biggest threat to get to the line?
Halliburton, maybe.
I mean, if he's going to the basket, or you think at off the shot?
If he's going to the basket, much like Brunson, when you're trying to put a little bit of pressure on him, you're gonna foul him. You know what I'm saying? Brunson gets to the line like that a lot. Because teams are gonna foul him. So those type of things. Teams are gonna foul him when he's advancing the ball up the floor, trying to put that kind of pressure on him, stuff like that. I don't know who else. Maybe I see Jay Beck that said Pascal Siakam, but he's shooting like 43%. Yeah, he might be one of your top ones to get to the line too.
Especially with OG out. You know what I mean? Now they got, you know what I mean? So him attacking Precious probably doesn't have the same defensive reputation as an OG. From the outside.
Right.
We know he can defend, but so yeah, I could definitely see that being a problem. And I could definitely see Indiana telling Pascal, like, yo, man, like, we need you tonight. Like, we need you.
Yeah. no doubt about it. And they both are going to be familiar with each other from practice. So Precious has guarded Pascal Siakam plenty of times in practice. They both know who can do what against each other for the most part, is what I see. You know what I'm saying? Pascal knows if locked them up in practice. You know what I'm saying? He knows, and vice versa. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes down. It's definitely going to hurt the Knicks to be without OG. But I think the Knicks can still win the series without OG. You know what I mean? He's out game 3. We don't know about game 4 yet, right? But still, I think even if he's out for a period of time, I think the Knicks can win without OG. You know what I mean? It's obviously it's going to take more work. Hopefully, Tom Thibodeau is going to use some of his depth. And you got to make it work that way. The good thing is you got a day to practice. Hopefully, the Knicks knew early that OG wasn't going to be able to play in game 3. So Tom Thibodeau had a chance to start working early. You know what I'm saying? Looking at film early, figuring out, who he's going to use. We know he's going to use, can't even think of his name right now. What's his name to start at power forward, most likely. But who else is he going to use? Alec Burks, Jericho Sims. Who else is he going to use off the bench?
Yeah.
So it's definitely disheartening that the Knicks ain't going to have OG, but I still think we can get it done. And this is the game to get it done, in my opinion. Right? You get it done in game 3, and you go up 3-0. All the pressure is now on Indiana. You know what I mean? All the pressure turns to, it's on Indiana now, but all the pressure is on Indiana because they can't lose a game. Everything is a must-win situation for them. And I'm not saying the Knicks are relaxed. As a matter of fact, knowing that they have injuries, they may have a heightened sense of awareness when they get out there on the court. So, let's see what the Knicks are able to do, man. Let's see what they're able to do. Let me get to a phone call, and then we'll start getting into some of the Indiana fans and what they're thinking. Caller, you're live. Name me where you're from, please. Jason, what's going on, bro? How you feeling? Good, man. Long day, but we're here.
I can't hear him. I don't know if the chat can, though.
Every night. Even when, watching some of the games throughout the playoffs and having my doubts about some of the games, like, damn, we're down big, or we're down 20, we're down 16. And one thing I don't think people are talking about is when it's crunch time, we always seem to play our best. And to me, that's a characteristic of a championship team. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win this year.
Right.
Maybe we can. I don't know. The injuries seem to really be piling on at this moment. So as a betting man, I probably wouldn't take us to go too much farther, even though I'd like to be wrong. But just that grit that we play with and how we always rise to the occasion. Even yesterday, Vincenzo making some really big threes that kind of kept us in the game while Brunson was out. OG, which I think was his best game as a Knick. In my opinion, it was his best game of the year, postseason and regular season. He was just very aggressive, very decisive, not too much wasted movement. And it just seems like this team just seems to just amaze me every time I watch them. Like I said, I've been watching the Knicks since I was little, late in the 80s. And that 99 team was special. But I got to say, man, this team, and maybe you guys could disagree with me. This team is starting to creep up. Of course, I wasn't around for the championship teams in the 70s, but this team is really starting to, it's them and the 99 team in terms of, now the 99 team went to the finals, of course. This book isn't done being written yet on this season, but, I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
I mean, this team, we can compare this team to the team in the 90s, and those comparisons are going to be there because of the their style of play. They're aggressive. They got a lot of grit. They never stop playing. They're always battling. But I feel like this team is even carving out a name for themselves, because unlike the team in the 90s, they could score 130 points like they did last night. You know what I mean? Those
Right.
teams in the 90s, and obviously it was a different style of play, but those teams in the 90s, you know what I mean? Like, we was happy to get 95 points from them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was that type of slow, super slow pace game, post up type of game, one-on-one type of game. This team right here is showing that they can get out in transition. I mean, they're outpacing one of the fastest paced teams in the league. They're outscoring one of the best scoring teams in the league right now, and still playing grit and grind when they have to in this series. This is one of the most versatile Knicks teams I think I've ever seen.
100%. We could score 130, but we could also hold you to 79 in the game.
Let me get you.
One second, caller.
Yep.
Tony was saying something. Go ahead, Tony.
Yep.
No, I was saying we can score 130, but we can also hold you to 79 and win a game. We're that good. And just one distinction with that 99 team and then also the 2012 team. This team, the best thing about it is like we're doing this and we're not at full strength. The future is really with like we have a path ahead of us with this squad. You know what I mean? With these guys, where that 99 team, unfortunately, it got broken up. You know what I mean? The 2012 team, they was all on the end of their road. You know what I mean? This was they last hooray. This team is set up to play together for 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I mean? So that's the beautiful part.
That is beautiful, because this team is set up to play for like 5, 6 years together and continue to grow, until they get late 20s, 30s. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a beautiful thing. But go ahead, Jason. You said it was right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I appreciate you even taking my call, man. Also, I know we've talked about the minutes. Definitely with Bogey out, and I don't, I'm not a doctor, but I don't see OG. I know he's not playing tomorrow. I doubt he plays game 4. But I will say this, this style of basketball, as we've known, the playoffs tend to slow down a lot.
Right.
And refs, and I know people complain about it. Refs do tend to, from what I've been noticing, playing basketball and watching, I didn't get to the pro level, of course, but just watching pro ball, the refs do tend to hold their whistle a little bit more in the playoffs. And I just don't think Indiana, we could play their style. I don't think they could play our style, even with us shorthanded, as far as our depth, which is pretty much shot at this moment, unless Tibbs starts to go to Burks and Milton route, which who knows what's going to happen, with that. But I think the physicality of us and the Pacers, I think it's kind of taking them out of their game a little bit. Yeah, of course, they're going to get their points. Halliburton went off last night, I thought. Hit some big threes. But I just don't think they're ready for our physicality. And then the last point, I'll take it off the air. This season has been a success to me. Now I'm not being negative, or I don't want to be pessimistic. And I'm not saying we're out of it because we're not. I still think we're going to beat the Pacers and go on and play the Celtics. Do I think we have enough horses for the Celtics? I do not. Now, they didn't look great tonight. And they're another team where they always kind of underachieve, in my opinion. So we'll see. But on paper, I think they're a better team than us. And I don't think most Knicks fans would disagree with it. But to me, the year has been a success. And I really, and like I said, I know I'm being I don't want to look too far ahead because we're still playing. But to me, this off season is going to be a big off season, regardless how far we make it. I don't know what you guys think in terms of the off season. And like I said, I know we're still playing, so I know a lot of times fans don't like talking about the off season. But just as a fan, I like the direction we're headed. And what do you think? I don't think Donovan Mitchell. I know we've talked about Donovan Mitchell a few times about us probably making a full court press. But I think if Cleveland keeps, doing well, I don't know if he'll leave Cleveland. I could be wrong. And you know me, I've been on the Mikal Bridges train for a while. Like I said, I don't think the Nets would trade him to us. Yes, trade him to us. But man, I mean, I really would like to see, and I think he could play the two. I know he's around 6'6", 6'7". OG's about 6'8". But I think those two defensively can be interchangeable. It could lighten the load on Brunson a little bit. I don't know what we'd have to give up to get him. I'm sure the Nets would try to get as much as they could. Like I said, I don't see that being a realistic trade, but he's the one guy I'm looking at. I know a lot of people have talked about the Booker thing. I don't think he fits the culture. I could be wrong. He's a great player, but he's another ball-dominant guy. So like I said, I just want to appreciate you guys taking my call. And like I said, it's outside of the 99 team. This team is just making me so proud, man. And for all those Charles Barkley and Shaq hating on us, a lot of them dudes couldn't even make it playing for the Knicks and playing for us fans and playing for the media because, we don't deal with soft players. So all them shots, all these media guys are taking, they just not built. They're just not built for the city. They're not built for the town. So they could kick rock. So I appreciate you guys, man. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate you, Jason. Appreciate it. Have a good one. What do you think, Tony?
Just the comparison with the team still, or the off season.
The off season.
I feel I've been saying it too. I do like the fit of Mikal. You know what I mean? And this was before I really seen DiVincenzo, Brunson, and Hart what they've done all year. You know what I mean? Like, like so that makes it even more intriguing to me, even if it is an overpay. But I'm not mad. I mean, I feel like we in such a good position that like, and we've done such a good job bringing guys in. The guys we bring in, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think we'll make a mistake. We got options, multiple options, and routes that we can go. It's gonna be hard to knock on wood. It's gonna be hard to mess this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Knicks have done. The front office has done a great job building this basketball team. You know what I mean? Building it piece by piece, adding the right pieces. I still think they're putting on a full court press for Donovan Mitchell in the offseason. I still think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to get eliminated by the Boston Celtics. I don't know if they have pieces to build to be a contender in the Eastern Conference, but you add Donovan Mitchell to this team, in my opinion, with Jalen Brunson, OG, Julius Randle, I believe that's a championship contender team. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, this is the year, this is the off season to do it. If you're going to make a push, this would be regardless of where the Knicks end up. If they win the championship, you still make the push for Donovan Mitchell, right? This is the off season to do it. We talked about it before with the way the contracts line up between Brunson and Randall and and Donovan Mitchell, you'd have enough money to keep OG with those three and then continue to add pieces. I mean, this is the year to do it because their contracts are all so similar and there's opt-out clauses at the same exact time. You can possibly convince them all to opt into their contract and then extend them the following year. This would be the time to do it. But obviously, like you were saying, we got a series. We're up 2-0 against Indiana. You know what I mean? I don't even want to think about the offseason. You know what I'm saying? Because we still got work to do against this team here. Now, let me get to another phone call. Then we'll start getting into some of these comments. Nick from Jersey, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling? Oh, Nick, before you go, I just want to, my man G-Mo's trying to take a shot. Listen, listen. He said, why does Sam look like he couldn't get a suit in time for the court hearing? Listen, I'm on my prep boy look today. I had a presentation to do in front of a legislator. Well, not in front of. I was on a panel with a legislator. So, I was on my prep boy look today. Got to do what you got to do sometimes. Got to handle business. At least I don't got a V-neck on. Anyway, Nick, what's popping with you, bro?
Nothing wrong with looking good.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
I'll keep it real quick and I'll throw it back to you. I just wanted to say I was looking up the Knicks Pacers head-to-head this year. Kind of a weird season. We played them 3 times, only 3 times. Both times, our 2 losses were when we were depleted because we had just made one of the trades. And the time we beat them, we had the same exact lineup that we're going to have here in Game 3. The same starting 5. OG was out, Randall was out, Mitch was out. We started Hartenstein, Precious, Hart, DiVincenzo, Brunson, and we played McBride, Sims, and Flynn. And the minutes, I think the way the minutes came out, it's like we could do this. We could play 7 with Sims being that 7th man and beat this team 1 out of the next 2 games. I believe.
I believe so too. Without a doubt, I believe so. I believe the Knicks can go to Indiana, get one of these next 2, and possibly finish it in 5. Yeah, I think Indiana should be a little bit worried about this team, about the Knicks. Look, Indiana's going to have some of their role players play better at home. That's without a doubt. But, the Knicks have been finding ways and having guys step up all season long. And I don't see them doing anything different. When they played Philadelphia, it took Philadelphia to have one-off quarters, one-off performances from Maxey or Joel Embiid to win a game. The Knicks just remain steady. And I still see this team, even though OG will be out, I still see them remaining steady.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter, our fourth quarter execution this playoffs has just been light years above anybody else in the fourth quarter in the playoffs. It's just we're closing games out perfectly.
Yeah.
Even Achille the other night had some missed assignments on defense, and then he gets 3 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter that just absolutely crushed Indiana.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And people keep complaining about the minutes and all of that, and you see the way the Knicks play in the fourth quarter, it's like they're fresh. And I don't, I understand what people are saying. Trust me, I do. I understand it, but it's hard to when you keep winning. You advance to the second round. You're up 2-0. What can you say?
Oh yeah, and just on the minutes thing, real quick, just so you're aware, I looked it up today. I saw it on Twitter, and I looked it up. Josh Hart right now is 27th. His playoffs in 2024 ranks 27th most minutes per game in NBA in the playoffs in NBA history.
NBA history.
And there's 3 guys ahead. There's only 3 guys ahead of him in the 21st century. There's Iverson, Gilbert Arenas, and Sean Marion. And the other 23 are in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah. Wow. That's something. All right, Nick, I appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Peace.
That just means he cut from a old school cloth.
Exactly. Exactly what it means. Cut from an old school cloth, man. All right, let's get into it, man. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what the Pacers fans are feeling right now. I guess, yeah, here we go. We'll start with this one here. Brendan. He said, this is why I was so upset about the Pascal signing. So, right now, obviously, they're not happy with Pascal Siakam. Like, here we are against a bad team. Way too young for that. Against a bad team.
First of all, who's the bad team?
Right.
Because it ain't us. And I remember him. I have Giannis Ball from the I don't remember what his comment was, but I remember the name, and I remember saying we gonna look back to what you said. So I should have dug it up, because he was talking spicy on the temperature check.
Yeah. Oh, on temperature check. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't. I mean, listen. That's gonna be the Pacers. Pacers fans are gonna hate on the Knicks, no doubt. Right. It'll make no sense. But what do we expect? Jay Williams said the number 2 seed, bad team? Question mark. Right. Nonsense. Nonsense. And what's to say about your team if we're a bad team, though? Right? We're injured. We got guys going down left and right. And what's to say about your team?
And you blaming one guy. You blaming one guy on saying we're a bad team, but you mad at Pascal. You're not mad at the team, the coach. You know what I mean? Like, you mad at one guy. What do you expect from this man?
Right. But it seems to be. Yeah, Kevin said, what bad team is he talking about? Must be talking about the Pacers. I guess. I don't know. But it seems to be consensus, though, amongst some of the Pacers fans, that they're not feeling Pascal Siakam. Says Siakam is awful. Michael says Siakam is awful. How do you feel about Pascal on that team?
On that team?
Yeah.
I think he's a good fit on that team. I think fans forget that chemistry has to be built. You know what I mean? You're not gonna bring a guy in like he's not Kawhi Leonard. You're not gonna bring a guy to your team and he just catapults you. You know what I mean? You gotta build and work on it, and you know what I mean, develop that chemistry. So I think they're just impatient or want immediate results. But I think it is funny in the sense that I remember a few years ago, when a lot of Knicks fans who were mad at Randall and was saying how much they would prefer Pascal, and I always said he would get killed the same exact way. You know what I mean? And y'all won't, like, at least Randall weathered the storm. Like, he went through the lowest of the lows, rose back up. You know what I mean? Like, so and built his way to where he is. Like, I don't think Siakam's built the same way. I don't think a lot of people are built the same way to have withstand what Randall did here. So I just think it's funny that now he's on the Pacers, and it hasn't even been a year, a full season.
Hasn't, right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I guess they don't want to re-sign him.
Yeah, I guess they thought when Pascal came that he was going to be, maybe fit the way OG did with the Knicks and take them to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened with OG when he got with the Knicks. I mean, it took him to a whole nother level. Now, obviously, the Pascal trade happened first, right? Or was it the OG trade that happened first?
It might have been the OG trade. I'm not sure. I know they were very, very close together.
I remember when they made the trade, as Knicks fans, we were saying, okay, the Knicks got to do something else. I don't remember which one happened first.
Yeah,
Maybe it was OG. I
for
don't
some
know.
reason, for some reason though, I think it was us. I think it was our trade first.
Maybe it was.
Yeah. I think Siakam played with RJ and quickly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A game or two.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what they expected, Indiana. When it was going to take them to championship contention. But
See,
yeah,
I don't know if they know who he was though. You know what I mean? Like we for me, I think he fits seamlessly on an offensive standpoint. I think he does make them better defensively, but he's not going to come in and bring the type of defensive change or the same it's not going to be the same impact as OG defensively. But
right,
offensively, I thought he's a perfect fit if Halliburton is 100%. You know what I mean? Because he's not a 1A, but perfect sidekick. You know what I mean? And perfect guy that could fit right alongside. I thought
mhm,
Halliburton,
yeah,
but Halliburton hasn't even been 100% either. So I think he needs, you know what I mean? He needs Halliburton to be at his best, and then he can elevate Pascal.
right, right, yeah, yeah. Jeff said, "How are we getting beat by a team with practically no bench?" I mean, they're not lying. He ain't lying. You know, I don't even know what to say to that.
And it's messed up because I mean we got a bench. They just don't play. They just don't play. You know what I mean? You gotta have a minimum amount
Yeah,
of players
no amount of players,
on
right?
your team. We got the minimum. We got the players. They just don't play.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean,
Um
yeah. Eh, Here's the wild thing, right? And I know Greg, and if Sean is in the chat, they're gonna have something to say. But everyone is looking and saying, "Oh, it's bad coaching that Tibbs isn't using this guy, that guy, and the third." But what if it's actually good coaching?
yeah, what if we lose if those other guys play?
Right. What if he actually knows what these guys are capable of? And I know people gonna say, "Oh, you making excuses," whatever, right? But what if he knows what these guys are capable of, and says, "Nah, they're not gonna get it done." I mean, it's a possibility, right? That these guys just ain't gonna get it done. So he's like, "Nah, I can't play him." Unless I just necessarily have to.
Here you go, son.
Chopin said, "Then go ahead, Tony."
He said the Knicks starters outscored their starters last game 118-75. That's how.
That's how. Yeah, there you go. Right. There you go. Bars. Here you go. Our bench are our starters in all actuality. Hartenstein, DiVincenzo. I don't know about DiVincenzo because once Grimes was traded, he became the full-time starter, right? Actually, he began starting over Grimes at some point before Grimes was traded. But Hartenstein, he started off on the bench until Mitch got hurt. Hart, obviously, yeah, no doubt about that, right? We're playing our bench. We're playing a good portion of our bench. Who are now starters.
That's another good one. Okay. That's another good fact.
Yeah, and look what we're still doing with them. So just imagine if we had our starters.
That's what I'm saying, Sam. That's
Crazy.
why I'm like as much as I'm living in the moment right now, I'm like I'm thinking about the future, like
Yeah,
and you know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. C. Stuffle said, "Hart is tough as shit, but he cries like LeBron."
I mean, I ain't gonna front. Josh Hart does, he's tough. He's tough as a mug, but he does complain and whine and all of that. That's just who he is, though.
I was gonna say because it's not even just the officials or you know what I mean. It's he complained to Tibbs. You know what I mean. He was complaining about not playing minutes. That he was complaining about playing too many minutes. You know what I mean. And if you watch the Roommates podcast, they talked about that. And Brunson's like, yeah, that's all he does is complain. That's all he does is complain. Don't want to practice. You know what I mean. And we just kind of all right, just let him be
Just
him.
deal with it. Let him be who he is. Let Josh Hart be who Josh Hart is. That's what they do on the court, right? Just let him be who it is. He's gonna make some blunders, and we know it. You know what I mean? Sometimes he gets the ball, he's gone. It's like, yo, where is he going? Where is he going? Where is he going? You got 4 people around you, and then he finds a way to make the layup, or on some occasions it's a turnover. You know what I mean? He's like the John Starks of this team. He doesn't shoot threes, like the style of play is different, but mentality, energy, and all that stuff. He's the John Starks of the team.
Complaining.
Yeah.
Oh man.
CG said Josh Hart gives you a good laugh from time to time. He does. And he's got a little Dylan Brooks in him. Maybe a little. I don't know. I don't like Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't like Dylan Brooks at all.
And I've never not liked Josh Hart when he was on another team. So I know,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's not one of those, when you got him, you love him type things. I thought he was good in Portland. I thought he was good on the Lakers. So
yeah. People upset with Halliburton, right? Said Hallie wasn't even getting doubled like that, and he only took 4 shots all second half. What's going on? I mean, he still had whatever he had last night, 38 points and whatever it was.
yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he hit 3 of them. You know what I mean? Because he had some big buckets.
34 points.
Yeah, 34. But he had some big buckets. He must have hit at least 3 of those shots. You know what I mean? Like it didn't look like he was passive in the second half to me, because the shots he made were big shots.
Yeah, and actually he took 7 shot attempts in the second half.
I might have captured that a little early before the game ended.
Yeah, I mean he still only took 12 the entire game, but that was the most on the team.
34 points on 12 shots.
Hold on, my bad. No, I'm sorry, he took 12 in the first half.
My
bad. Okay,
I was about to say. I was about to say that's
what is that? Now he took 19. He took 19, and that was the most on the team. He took 19 shot attempts, 11 for 19 throughout the game. I mean, so he took 12 in the first half, 7 in the second half. I mean, I don't know if that's shying away or being afraid.
They want him shooting. They want him shooting Brunson attempts.
I mean, you can't front. Brunson sometimes be up there with like 32, 33 shot attempts, but he's still shooting 50% though. I mean, the coolest said Halliburton is still dealing with an injury. I mean,
2, right? Because I don't know where the back thing came from, but I know the hamstring was hampering him.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but right now, they're looking for. They're looking for a number 1 option maybe on that team. I mean, who is the number 1 option on that team? Halliburton.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe if they thought they was getting Pascal to be the number 1 option, then I think they made a mistake. They made a mistake.
Right.
He's a complimentary piece. You know what I
Complimentary
mean?
piece. Yeah, no doubt.
So I don't know if anybody thought that though. You know, I don't know if anybody thought that. I would have assumed that Halliburton solidified himself as their top scorer and top playmaker,
Yeah.
and they just needed more people around him that didn't just rely on him
Right.
to get their shot,
Right.
which Pascal can, do both.
Yeah. 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 So then it makes sense, right? That you would be upset, like, hey, this is this is the guy that's got to get it done for us, and he's not on scoring the basketball, or at least taking those shot attempts when you need him to take those shot attempts. I mean, listen, this team can score. I guess though, like the Knicks, in the fourth quarter is going to be clear out, get a ball to Brunson, clear out, and let's go get a bucket. The more I'm watching this team, and I know that they have a lot of ball movement, man movement, and they get open shots that way.
I know exactly where you're going. You're right.
It still comes down to that sometimes.
You got to know who you're going to go get the bucket.
Yeah.
You got to have that at some point in the game. You know what I mean? It's nice to share the ball, team movement, find the open man. But when it comes down to crunch time, you know what I mean?
You need that guy.
You need that guy. And that's yeah. I don't know if Halliburton is that guy. He can make a clutch shot.
Mm-hmm.
He can make a game winner. He could do it, but can he do it night in, night out? Can he do it every time? You know what I mean? And he might not be the best guy to do that because of his, he's a true point guard, so he's always looking for the pass first, the right play.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they may need a killer. You know what I mean? They may need a closer alongside him.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they're going to need a guy like that alongside him. I don't know where to get him from, but I think they're going to need a guy like that. You know what I mean?
And they got that young boy Mathurin, right?
Oh, Ben Mathurin.
I know
he's not playing. He could
he's
be
out.
He could be that guy.
He looked like he got that mindset, that dog in him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yep. I forgot all about Ben Mathurin because he's not playing right now. Yeah, he definitely could be that guy. He could be that guy that steps up and is that one-on-one player for them. Yeah, no doubt. SpongeBob said, "Can't blame the refs on this one. This is embarrassing."
And I'm like, that's all. I'm like, that's all they've been saying in your chat. Yo, talk to your mans. They've been blaming the refs.
Yeah,
the whole game.
Right.
Sound like Rick Carlisle was in. That's his name.
Yeah,
sound
Rick Carlisle. Yeah,
sound like he was in the chat. Yeah, on the burner accounts or something.
I mean, they can't blame the refs. I mean, listen, they were up double digits. All the Knicks suffering injuries, all of this, and they lost the basketball game. You know what I mean? You can't lose that basketball game. You can't under those that you had the win in your hand. All you got to do is play. You had the win in your hand. You can't lose it. And they did. You can't blame the refs on that. Can't blame the refs on that. Now, Bergen said that the refs was missing those free throws and giving up those. Right. Exactly. Tyron said, "This ain't on the refs or Reese. This is on rebounding and Rick. Get Drew off of Brunson. He can't guard him."
Nobody said nobody can. TJ is a pest though.
He is. TJ McConnell, man. That guy just gets on my nerves. He just gets on my nerves. How much do you put this on Rick Carlisle? Not that I care, but
I mean, I did question them taking TJ out because he was their best defender on Brunson. You know what I mean? He wasn't stopping him, but he was agitating him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And maybe it could be a thing. Maybe I don't know. Like that's what a lot of their chat was talking about. Like, yo, put TJ back in. Put TJ back in. Why is TJ out? So I get it. I understand it. So if there was something that I would blame or question the coach on, it would be that, because when he was out, there was no resistance.
Right.
You know what I mean? Brunson's gonna do what he does regardless.
Right.
But there was no resistance when TJ like he made immediate impact. Well, Brunson got hurt in the first half, but he made an impact on him. You know what I mean? Defensively, I'll admit that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and TJ McConnell, I hate to say it, but for whatever reason, dude be getting buckets.
Yeah,
It's the-
double too last night.
Gets on my he be getting on my nerves, yo.
He
Be
he
getting on
re-
my nerves.
he remind me of Caruso a little bit.
Yeah, just like Caruso. Just like Caruso. You know what I mean? And somehow, he finds his way in the lane. He's got good vision when he gets in the lane to be able to find people, and he's got a weird little floater that looks like it shouldn't go in. Makes it and like Kevin said, it's frustrating watching how easy he's scoring. It is, because you feel like he shouldn't be, but he is. I mean, D. Cooler said like Peyton Pritchard. Yeah, like all of them guys. You know what I mean? Like all of them guys.
They probably all look up to Brunson like, there's a
Right.
chance for me. I could be that good one day.
You know. My man Tyron said this is on rebounding, and Rick. And as Trader 33 said, for those who believe rebounding doesn't matter, pay close attention to this series. Yeah, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? Same thing with the Knicks in Philadelphia, right? For the most part, when the Knicks won the rebounding battle, they won the game. When they lost the rebounding battle, they lost the game.
Listen, this is what Tim's been saying all year long. All year long. If we win the rebounding battle, if we keep our turnovers low, you know what I mean? What's the other one? There's three things. He's like, yo, if we do these three things, we're gonna be in every single game.
Every single game. Every single game. Yeah. The rebounding, man. And the Knicks are showing and proving just how important rebounding is. You know what I mean? Just especially in the fourth quarter. They can be getting out rebounded all game. Then all of a sudden, Josh Hart is coming in and grabbing boards. Isaiah Hartenstein is coming in and grabbing boards. Devo will grab a couple of boards. Like, Precious grabbing big rebounds. You know what I mean? They were talking about it all night last night on TNT in that fourth quarter. The Knicks just keep hounding the glass, grabbing offensive rebounds.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say one thing that I enjoy about watching the non-MSG streams is hearing these guys. Josh Hart with another rebound. he comes out of nowhere. He's like a bat out of hell. It's just like, yeah, that's what he does.
Exactly.
But it's so funny to hear, these other commentators or other people talk
And
about
it's funny. It's funny because they're surprised, right? They're surprised, and as Knicks fans and as like Knicks commentators, well, right now there's no Knicks commentators, but they know, like,
Mhm.
oh, well, we've been seeing this all season. You know what I'm saying? We know exactly what he can do. And, I mean, what is Josh Hart averaging for the playoffs right now? He's got to be averaging a double-double, right? Because he's having a magnificent playoff.
I think he was averaging 14 rebounds in the first series.
Let me see. I'm on Basketball Reference right now. Let's see what they're saying. So 23-24 playoffs, he's averaging 18 points, 12.8 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. Shooting 47% from the field and 43% from the three-point line. Yeah.
And I said that too early in the year where he was shooting so bad. I'm like, maybe he'll get on the hot stretch at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like he came into the season last year. Came to the Knicks, I should say.
Right.
Shooting the ball, shooting the three.
So Jay Williams said if he wasn't playing 48 minutes, his numbers would be a lot less impressive. Yes, his numbers would not be the same if he wasn't playing 48 minutes. But it doesn't erase his numbers might not look the same, but his impact in the moments that we need him would be the same. Right? You know what I mean? When it's 6 minutes left in the game and he's running around crazy, grabbing rebounds and getting steals and doing all of those type of things, he would have the same impact, I believe. You know, listen, he's not a pure scorer. He's got to work for it. He works for everything. So he's not going to be prolific, right? If Jalen Brunson played 48 minutes, he'd average 40 in the regular season, probably. You know what I mean? Because he's more prolific. Josh Hart's not really that prolific type of guy, so he's still only getting 12, 13 shot attempts per game. Right. So he's making almost 50% of them, but I think the impact would still be the same.
And to me,
Jay Williams said he agrees.
That's the impressive part to me. Like he's shooting the ball well. You know what I mean? Like all those minutes is not dampering. You know what I mean? It's not making him tired at the end, no legs or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he's ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Ready to go. Logan said, somebody, please foul one of these floppers hard as bloop bloop. One time is worth a flagrant foul. I mean, I don't think the Knicks flop any more than any other team. I'm not going to say they don't flop. I'm pretty sure that they flop as much as anybody else in the league. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know what to say to it.
Hey, sell the call. That's what I call it. Sell the call.
Right. I mean, Brunson does a good job selling calls.
That doesn't mean you didn't get hit. That, you know what I mean? That means you selling the call. It's not like you didn't get hit and you know what I mean, flailing around.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
bring attention to the concept.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? D. Cooler said not as much as Lowry. I mean, it's a lot of guys, not as much as LeBron. Right? I mean, these guys, you talk about, I mean, I've seen LeBron not get hit, but flail his body and his face and all of that to act like he was, fall on the ground, holding his jaw. And then when they show the replay, the hand went right past his face. You know what I mean? But the refs are still making the call.
And he's still holding his eye. Dude, we just saw the replay, bro.
Right.
You still holding your eye.
And then if the call goes against him, doing all this crazy stuff. Yeah, no doubt. Oh, boy.
Why they want to hurt our guys, man?
You know what I mean? Logan said, this sucks, but I like our chances in this series. OG getting hurt is going to be a huge factor.
Maybe,
You know,
but I don't think
we
it's a game changer.
yeah, and we've discussed it. We've been on it. You know,
Siakam would have to turn into the guy that first guy wanted him to be. You know what I mean? Like
right,
he would have to do that to combat that on, you know what I mean, on top of OG being gone.
right, right. I mean, you know, going back to it, I still believe Precious can provide maybe not the defensive IQ, but the defensive energy that OG provides. So I don't think there'll be a huge drop off defensively, and we have the pieces to make up for what he does offensively. I think. You know what I mean? You know, obviously we're going to miss some shooting. And I mean, if he gave us what he was starting to give us last night, then that'd be
Yeah,
a,
that
a way different story.
but that was a abnormal,
Yeah.
you know, occurrence. So yeah, I agree. And theoretically, you could say OG at the time was making up for Brunson's absence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do agree that we should still have enough offensively and defensively. We just kind of got to put it together.
Let me ask you about that, right? Because you just said that OG, you believe at the time, was making up for Brunson not being there. That means he felt some responsibility.
Yeah, he was trying to win the game.
Right. He's trying to win a game. And he knew that he was one of the guys that had to put the ball in the hole. So does the coaching staff have to put some more responsibility on OG in order for him to step up? Because I'd never seen him play that way.
I wouldn't be surprised though. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't take that onus on himself, and they said something to him at that time. You know what I mean? Like in that moment.
Yeah.
You know, Brunson went to like, hey, we need you. You know what I mean? We need you right now.
Right. Because
but at the same time, I think it started before Brunson got hurt. To be honest,
it did.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it did, because he was already cooking and doing his thing. So I don't know. Maybe, you know, they got in his ear and was like, listen, this is a series that you can average 25 points a game if you play aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I mean, I've never seen him do the Brunson thing where he's holding guys off on his back, dribbling it low in a little crab dribble, and then find a way to score.
He did that a couple times.
A couple of times.
Like 3 times.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think he was 2 for 3 with that move.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, I don't know. Whenever he comes back, I hope that he continues. I hope he looks at this game and says, okay, this is what I can do. He has the talent to do it. He has the talent to do it. And man, if he starts doing that for this team, that's a game changer.
Game changer.
That is a game changer. Big game changer. You know what I mean? Big game changer. So, I don't know. Right now, man, Dallas is up 14 over OKC.
I was hoping that one. I was hoping they kind of stayed undefeated in this series.
Yeah. Dallas is up 14. We seen Cleveland smack Boston by 24. You know, only 2 teams up 2-0 right now. There's Minnesota and New York. Both teams defensive minded. Both teams. You know. Yeah, that's surprising to me though. Dallas up. I mean, oh no, my bad. They're up 4. They're up 4. 99. No, I'm tripping. 99-86. They're up 14. I'm tired. I'm bugging.
How much time was it fourth quarter?
46 seconds left in the third. So there's still time for OKC to come back. But yeah, you know, it's definitely I mean, I guess I thought Dallas could get some wins against OKC. I didn't think Cleveland. I f- I thought Cleveland might get swept.
I didn't just because um I don't think Boston's mentally tough.
And they're proving that. They're
Like
proving that.
now, granted, I expect them to come back and win the next one, dominant. And, but they just, you know what I mean? Like they don't seem like they focus in the sense of, all right, they got that first win. They probably was thinking sweet too. They probably was
Right.
thinking, we don't have to bring out a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, look what we did. Tatum didn't even play well. You know what I mean? Da, da, da. We smacked them. We good.
Right.
No, you gotta play the game, bro.
Yeah. And they you talk about a team that's living and dying by the three.
Yeah,
That's
that's who they've been all year, though. To be honest,
yeah.
to be honest, like, and it's hard to. It sounds stupid when you say it because they be hitting them, but every now and again you see it, or even in the game, like because they'll start a game shooting horrible and it looks bad, and then second half they shoot 56% and now you know what I mean, it started looking good again. But yeah, they live and die by that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be some fun playoffs, man. As going some great playoffs. Uh, but just looking at Boston, I think, if the Cleveland don't play like the Knicks play. They don't play as hard and as aggressive as the Knicks play. You know, the Knicks might be able to put some pressure on Boston if they're gonna have games like that where they get kind of lackadaisical. Don't bring the energy. Don't bring the mentality. The Knicks can put some pressure on them. They got to get there. Knicks got to get there healthy, but they can put some pressure on them.
I also though I think Boston would respect us more than Cleveland.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're not
Yeah.
gonna. Oh, like they've been hearing, oh, it could
Right.
be Knicks Boston, it could be Knicks. Like they've been hearing that since the playoffs started.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
they probably got that mentality, at least initially. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's shut everybody up. You know what I mean? Like they not a threat. You know what I mean? They probably want to
Right.
prove something. But I could see the same thing happening too. If they win, they go up, whatever in the series, and they just let their guard down. All right, yeah, we showed them. Nah, y'all didn't win 4 yet. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I can see that. Well, Tony, man, I think
One question though. One
Oh yeah,
question.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Who? What can we do to get Deuce back going?
Hmm.
Do you think it's something the Pacers are doing, or do you think it's just
I don't think it's anything the Pacers are doing. As a matter of fact, this is something, the style of play, should benefit Deuce because he can, he can go off the dribble. We've seen it. We've seen it in the Philly series. He can get to the cup. I think it's just right now maybe just a matter of circumstances in which lineups are playing well together.
and the fact that DiVincenzo's been on fire. You know what I mean?
Right.
Brunson don't really sit. You know what I mean? So he just had a bad. You could kind of chalk it up to he kind of just had a bad game last game. You
Right.
know what I mean? As opposed to like, oh, what's going on with Deuce?
Right. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow night, man. Hopefully, I get to see it the second half at least because I'll be at work. But yeah, I should be able to catch the second half.
No doubt. All right, man. I'm tired. I need to get some sleep. I'm mad tired. I need to, get out of these tight clothes. You know what I mean? Take off the preppy clothes and put on a t-shirt and shorts and be ready to knock this out tomorrow.
Craig.
I should be able to do a game preview tomorrow. So I'll be looking forward to that, and I'll definitely be on the post game show.
No doubt.
Yeah. So all
I'll
right.
see
Yeah.
you on the post game. Losers Lounge tomorrow night.
That's what we trying to do, baby. That's what we trying to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate it. We up out of here. Be peaceful. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy some more playoff basketball. And yeah, we're gonna get this one up out of here as soon as I can figure out what I'm doing. We out. Peace.
None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened.